that right there. All right, we're going to get started right on time today because the Blue Angels are going to fly over my house in an hour and I want to see it. All right, well, you probably already know the drill here. We're going to take a mock exam. It's going to be the second one. It's going to be all new questions. You've never seen them before because I composed them. I am John Frensley and I teach at Prosper High School in Texas. So we're going to practice crafting responses to a realistic AP Physics C Mechanics exam, and we're going to practice uploading the responses. The mock exam you are about to see was entirely composed by me. It was not entirely vetted. So just be aware that your real mock exam will probably test different concepts. So if these questions have conservation momentum, that's no guarantee that the actual questions will have conservation momentum. But the idea is to show you what it's going to be like to type entirely for physics, So that's the disclaimer right there. Don't assume, oh, there are 2 carts on his problems. There's going to be 2 carts on the real AP exam. Well, maybe not. All right. So let's just go briefly over how you can respond. I'm not going to read every word here, but the best method is really to type your answers in a separate document and then copy and paste it into the submission window. There really needs to be a good reason if you don't do that. We don't have to read your handwriting. There's no risk of, well, the file was corrupted. That has happened when students have turned in very important lab reports to me. It takes way less bandwidth to upload. I mean, it could be uploaded maybe in a single packet or 2. So you're really low risk of something going wrong during the upload. I don't like the idea of typing the answers in a document, then uploading the document. While you could use special like Greek letters or equations, those can be corrupted by the time they get to us. I've had students turn in lab reports with fancy diagrams and stuff in them, but when it gets to me, they look ugly or they just don't load or whatever. I don't even know how you would do it with a Google Doc, so I'm not really hot on that. I know that there's a lot of talk out there about writing out your answers on a sheet of paper and then taking a picture with your phone. I'm just going to tell you right now, I've had my students do that with their homework for the last 6 weeks, and it's awful. They cast a big shadow over it. They write really light with their pencil or too small. They don't frame the picture really well. So I'm telling you right now, if you're going to write out on paper and upload a picture, you better be doing it because you're legit terrible on your keyboard, or because you don't even have a keyboard and it's a tablet or a phone that can take pictures, but you don't have a keyboard you can type on. But if there's any way you can use a keyboard you can type on, please get to that. Be careful about your distractions and things like that, right? And whichever one you do, please practice it, especially if you're going to upload a picture. Upload pictures, send pictures to your teacher and say, hey, can you read this? Could you grade this? That kind of thing. Watch out the file types. I think there's some file types that certain phones take that type of picture and we can't read it. So you really need to know what you're doing if you're using one of these 2 methods that's not what I call the best method. Okay, have your 2 documents ready in advance. Have your initials and your AP ID on the top line. The AP ID will be part of your ticket, the email that you're going to get 48 hours before each exam. So just have that at the top already. Know in advance how you're going to type Greek letters. For me, I type ALPHA for alpha, MU for mu, PI for pi. I'm going to use an underscore for subscripts. I'm going to use an asterisk and a slash for times and divide. I'm going to use parentheses. So if I have to do mg minus mg in the numerator, I'll put that in parentheses, slash m plus m in the denominator. The whole denominator is its own parentheses, right? Please be careful about your case. Please use like SQRT if you mean square root, or the up caret for exponent, right? So if you look at these equations at the bottom, if you can recognize those, like, hey, I can tell that that's the period of a pendulum down there on the lower left. If you can recognize them, we can recognize them, okay? So if that makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to us, okay? So don't feel like the readers have a bunch of rules. If we can make sense out of it, we're going to try and give you points if it deserves points. Okay, there's been a lot of talk going around about the fact that there's going to be more parts than you could probably answer in 25 or 15 minutes. So I want to tell you to treat it like a buffet, okay? So let's say you get to the free response and there are K parts. There are 11 individual parts you need to answer. Please don't treat it like a death march. Don't try to do A, then B, then C, then D. Instead, you're going to take in what's on the page. Just get the scenario in your brain, okay? That's the intro stuff at the top with the diagram. That's called the scenario. Then you're going to read part A, and you're going to ask yourself, am I guaranteed to get points on part A? If the answer is yes, stop and answer it. If the answer is no, keep going. Read part B. Is there something I can write? I know I can get points on this. If yes, write it. Write a complete response. If no, keep going. So you might not answer them all in order, and you might not answer A, B. You might answer C first, right? Or whatever. Then you're going to, once you get to the end, and like, okay, I've answered everything I'm guaranteed to get points on. Go back, and now you're going to say, could I maybe get points on this? If the answer is yes, you're going to answer those parts where it's like, hey, there's a chance I could get points on that. If there's any time left at the end, you're going to do the parts like, wow, I'm okay, taking a complete guess here. It'd be best if you could answer every part, but man, answer the parts you know, answer the parts you think you know, and then the bad stuff last. Okay, as you type your answers, it would be best if you kept them in the order that they appeared in the problem. It's not that the readers are going to mark you down if it's B, then D, then K, then A, then C. But it's not going to help you. It could confuse us. So you don't want to confuse the reader. You want the reader to be very understanding of what you're trying to say, because then we can give you points. So try to do that, okay? If you don't do it, it's not the end of the world, but it's a thing that would really help if you could keep everything in order, right? Okay. All right, here we go. So here's the timing. The timer starts at 30 minutes remaining on question 1, but be aware that 30 minutes is really 25 minutes. And if it says 15 minutes remaining, that's really 10 minutes. So whatever the timer says, you have 5 less minutes than that, because the last 5 minutes are for uploading your answer. I didn't say the last 1 minute, I said the last 5 minutes. Once it turns red, upload your answer, because if the timer goes to 0 and you have not fully completed the uploading process, you might get a blank, right? They might just take it as a blank, like you didn't submit. We don't want that, okay? So it's 25 minutes. I have students, I know that Angela mentioned this on Monday, where I say time on a test and man, they're still writing. And then the bell rings and they're still writing. And then like the warning bell rings, I need to get to class and they're still writing. And then they need to get a pass, right? Hey, Friendly, I need a pass to go to my next class. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, you went 10 or 15 minutes over time. AP exam is not going to do that. So you need to stop when the timer turns red. Please know what your testing accommodations are. If you have them, you'll be given them, but please make sure you know them in advance. Don't be surprised if you do or don't, have those, okay, testing accommodations. Okay, so this is about what you're about to do. So there are PDFs in the shared drive that is linked at the bottom of this video. So if you'll unfull screen this video and click on the link, it's a tiny URL, you should see a PDF document called Wednesday Mechanics Question 1. Let me show you how I would have it set up on my screen. So there's my PDF. And there's my Notepad. I'm going to use Notepad, right? Okay. Notepad is a Windows program, and it's just like submitting where you have no special characters. It's only what comes out of your keyboard is what counts, right? And then you'll see that I used a very large font on these questions to make it easy for you to read the questions on a phone or to put them side by side in windows like this. I did that for you to make it easier for you. Okay, I am gonna play music during this whole time. So you better find your mute button now. There's going to be background music. It's post-apocalyptic game show music from the early 2000s, okay? If you don't want the background music, mute the thing. I will not talk until the timer turns red at 5 minutes, and I'm not gonna give you the 5 minutes to upload. Once the timer turns red, I'm gonna say, okay, at this point, you're done with your response, right? If you think that you're a boss at physics, then you can keep the music on to give yourself like a little handicap, right? If you're going to go in, you're like, hey, I'm going to get every single part of this right. If you're a physics teacher who's doing this right along with you, I think you should keep the music on as your handicap. And I'm talking to you, Mr. Twin of Carrot Top, who's out there. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, so there you go. So here's your check for understanding. Get your preferred answering method ready now. I'm going to give you a minute. Get that document ready. If you're going to do it on paper, then get it on the paper. Okay. So get that Wednesday mock exam question 1 PDF up on your screen. Go to that tiny URL. Do not scroll down until you're told to do so. Do not start until you're told to do so, right? Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you just a little bit of time. A little bit of time. Okay, are we all ready? Okay, there's going to be a timer on this screen. I think I want to stop my video because you don't need to see my ugly mug throughout this whole thing, right? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start the music. You're going to mute it. You got 30 minutes, which is really 25 minutes. On your mark, get set, go.
25 minutes remaining. 20 minutes remaining. 15 minutes remaining. 10 minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining. Begin uploading now.
Right, so this is the part where you would upload. And so whatever you've accomplished at this point, you should stop and look over it. Did you get to address each part? If not, did you address the parts that you could get points on or maybe get points on? All right, that's going to be enough of that. Okay, so I'm not going to give you the whole 5 minutes upload. I'll let you practice that at the end. Let's go on to question 2. So you should look in the Google Drive folder. You should now see something that's called Wednesday Mechanics Question 2. Lucky you, I don't think it's that many pages. I think it's not nearly as long, but you don't get as much time, of course. So if you could get that in front of you, if you don't see it, please hit refresh on that Google Drive folder. So I'm going to give you a little bit to get your second document. Please save what you did in the first document. So save, save, save. So whatever you did on the first one, save it right now. Push Control S, come over. Let's get that second mechanics question open. All right. Let me get it open in front of me here. So it starts with the word a student is given. Okay. And the entire scenario is on the first page and the 4 parts are on the second page. Okay, so I've given you some time to get that in front of you. This one is 15 minutes, so the timer starts with 20, and then at 5, you'll upload and we'll call it a day. Okay, so here we go. You got your second document in front of you. You got side by side, whatever it is you're doing. On your mark, get set. Here we go.
15 minutes remaining. 10 minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining. Begin uploading now.
All right, at this point, you should stop with what you have. I hope you were able to address all 4 parts this time. You might recognize the music. This one, this set of songs was background thinking music from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which apparently is enjoying a renaissance. It's back on TV, except they're only having celebrity contestants, so maybe they should call it Who Is Already a Millionaire. Anyway, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and call it on the music bit, and I'm going to direct you to AP Demo, cb.org/AP Demo. The AP ID you're going to put in is just the word practice. You're going to do the verification steps as if you were really taking the exam, except that they're not going to save anything. So don't be afraid of, putting in your email address, nothing gets saved. And then I want you to actually practice what it feels like to upload your answers to question 1. Then practice what it feels like to upload your answers to question 2. And I'm going to go out and see the Blue Angels. So my producer is going to hold on this screen for about a minute, and then she's going to cut me off. So I'll see y'all tomorrow when we score these free responses. Have a good one.